Hi, so I am 14 weeks pregnant right now. I guess that officially starts the second trimester. I thought that was last week. It would have been nice if it were last week because that would have been exactly on Mother's Day. I haven't officially announced my pregnancy to all my family or all my friends. I've said it to a handful of my closest friends and my immediate family, but that's about it. No Facebook announcements or anything like that, or blog announcements at this point yet. So 14 weeks and I feel great. I've been feeling great since probably about week 10 and onwards up until this point. I had, I just started my second trimester and I hope I continue feeling this way. And by feeling good, I mean no nausea, no food aversion, no debilitating back aches or anything. The lower back pain and the pelvic pain was extreme during week 7 to week 9, but from then on, I had occasional weak lower back, but it wasn't as bad as it was in the beginning, so I'm glad I got that all out of the way, and I hope that my feeling good will just continue all throughout my pregnancy. And I guess I just have to face the issue of the physical weight in front of me, as I get bigger. Today is also supposedly my second appointment with the medical midwives. That's not what they're called, but they are medical because, in Maryland it's very common to have midwife nurses, more common, I believe. And it's being frowned upon if you are a midwife and not a nurse, but they do exist, and it is legal to have just a midwife certification or title and not be a nurse. So the first set of midwives that I met early in my pregnancy was a set of, medically trained midwives, and they were required to give birth at the hospital. And I wasn't too thrilled visiting, or, after getting to know them more, just in my first and second visits, because they made it seem like I was uninformed, or people who think like this are uninformed, people who opt out of vaccinations, opt out of routine screenings, although, they say that they're different from doctors and nurses in that they honor your birth plan. The screening, prenatal screening up until that point seems very similar to what a traditional doctor would want you to have or go through. And that, to me, at this time in my life is important. The way the midwife or a doctor handles your prenatal care is important to me, and how they react to you, even non-verbally, how they respond to your requests. I just didn't feel valued, really, and respected in that. The one midwife I met with was silent about how she felt about my not wanting to do ultrasounds at all. They strongly recommend the 20 weeks one, and I can understand why. I mean, she stated her reasons, but I've read plenty of advice and plenty of stories from other people. And other people I personally know that never went through ultrasounds and for all of their pregnancies, and they were fine. And some people actually going through these routine checks, routine screenings, gives them some comfort, but some people actually get more worried by that. I don't know where I am right now, and the fact that I feel good, I don't think about that much. I was worrying about it earlier because I felt so great, I was like, well, maybe there's something wrong, but no. I'm glad that I feel good, I felt all the terrible nausea and morning sickness in the beginning, but that was good. That was a good experience because my body was changing, and it was just normal for my body to respond that way. So I really felt like the second trimester started a lot earlier than when it normally starts. I canceled my appointment with the midwives today. They were concerned because I wouldn't get my next appointment until more than a month from now. There's really nothing that they can significantly do for me at this point from what I've been reading. If I'm opting out of ultrasounds and I'm opting out of the doppler, the secretary told me at the midwife center they could check other things. Prenatal care is important, like measuring the size of your belly, your blood pressure, and all of that. And sounds like it's everything that I can do at home, you know, and I can visibly see that my belly is getting bigger. I mean, I still am thinking of going to midwives for sure. I'm going to another tour. It's in a freestanding birth center, and there are midwives there. Heard good things about them from one of my friends. It's pretty holistic. They're not required to, you know, give you ultrasounds or go to a hospital to have you, you know, deliver there. Everything is done on site, so that is good. And I'll learn a little bit more about them later this evening, and I will let you know how that goes and who they are, if I'm pretty happy with them. I just didn't have a good feeling with the medical midwives, even during the tour from the beginning. My first appointment with the medical midwives, and while I was lying down, my legs spread, you know, and everything was covered. I couldn't see her hands or anything. I heard a beep. So apparently she used a doppler, I don't know for how long, and it sounded like, you know, it was only for a few seconds, you know, without telling me. So that was, to me, quite intrusive. And I guess she didn't remember that I said that I didn't want to use electrical devices or that emit frequency. I would like to make sure of that if I ever switch to this set of midwives at the birthing center. And a good advice that was given to me by my friend, she said that, you know, you should, for herself, planning on having her husband with her in every appointment. So that's what I'm going to do from now on. And I heard that was pretty common anyway, even if it's not a couple who's extremely careful about radiation. They just want to know, you know, or for the sake of support or curiosity. But my husband will be there, and that's a great idea. I think that every pregnant wife should go through. Just bring their husbands with them during every appointment. And I'm going to try to go to screenings or prenatal care the least amount of times as possible. It just doesn't seem like there's enough that they actually do for you in each and every appointment. You know, the first appointment was annoying because, first of all, the doppler was a surprise. She did not say anything about that at all. And she didn't even really discuss with me what she got from that. I had to ask her what it was, first of all, and I had to ask her what she heard. It just seemed like they wanted you out of there right away, especially because I said that I wasn't into ultrasounds. Really wish that doctors and even midwives wouldn't treat their patients that way. I would like to be treated like a person, and I would like to talk to somebody who's actually looked into these things and you know, if not all, at least partially believe in the things I believe as far as safety goes. And I just didn't like the fact that when I talked to the secretary, she said, oh, you just rarely get any cases where a fetoscope is used. Well, that's the United States for you. Everywhere else in the world they use a fetoscope, and the norm here is to use a Doppler fetal heart rate. I won't be able to hear the heartbeat of the baby with a fetoscope until about the 18th week or so. So that's all for now at week 14, and deciding whether or not to announce my pregnancy yet. Wait till then. Bye.